أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد، فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم من همزه ونفخه ونفثه. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولئن سألتهم من خلق السماوات والأرض وسخر الشمس والقمر ليقولن الله فأنى يؤفكون. And if you ask them, who has created the heavens and the earth, and who is controlling the sun and the moon, they will surely say, Allah is doing all this. فَأَنَّا يُؤْفَكُونَ. Then where they are deluded from or deceived from. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. The ayah which I have recited, this is from Surah Al-Ankabut. In this verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has suggested to His messenger, the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to ask the pagans of Makkah, mushrikeen of Makkah, to ask them, who has created the heavens and the earth, and who is controlling sun and the moon and whole system of the earth. They will surely say, they will reply, Allah is doing all this. And this question is mentioned in the Holy Quran on various places, not only in Surah Al-Ankabut. It's also mentioned with some difference of the words. It's also mentioned in Surah Mu'minun, Surah Zukhruf, Surah Yunus, and the other places as well. And this question has been put to the pagans of Makkah. They are mushrikeen. We say they are, in the light of Quran and Sunnah, they are mushrikeen, they are pagan, they are infidels, and they are registered for hellfire. They are enemies of the Holy Prophet ﷺ, and they are enemies of Allah Almighty, and they are, in other words, registered for hellfire, and it is declared by the Holy Quran. So it is strange that believing in Allah, in the sense that He is the only one, and He is controlling, He is the creator, and He is controlling all the universe. Believing in this fact is called Tawheed. And if the same creed and same faith we people have the same faith and same creed, Allah Almighty is one, and He is the creator, He is the only creator, and He is doing all this. If this is Aqidah Tawheed, then why they are mushrikeen? Having this belief, and having believed in this fact, we are mu'min, we are muwahhid, and they were mushrik, they were pagan, they were registered for hellfire. What's the difference between? It's a point to be noted, to be thought of. And that's what I'm going to explain for myself as well as yourself as a remembrance, as a tazkir. We must put some attention towards our Aqidah Tawheed. Are we muwahhid? Are we mu'min? And belief in Tawheed and creed in Tawheed, this is the base of all creeds. And Islamic creed. Islamic faith means nothing if Aqidah Tawheed is not perfect. So, what's the missing and what's the lacking aspect of Aqidah Tawheed which makes the Makkans the pagans, which makes them mushrikeen? After having got this belief, Allah is one, He is the creator, He does all the things, and the question asked, who extends the provisions? Who restricts the provisions? Who sends down water from the earth? They will surely say, Allah. So what's Tawheed? This is Tawheed. How pure the Tawheed is, if this is Tawheed. So what was lacking actually? This is a food for thought for me as well as for you. So look, Quran explains what was missing, and then I will come to ourselves and our creed and our faith, and we must put some attention towards our faith. Are we pure muwahhid or not? And we can assess ourselves by our own self. Allah Almighty has explained this. Look, Tawheed actually means to have belief in Allah in three aspects. One is called Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, Tawheed of Lordship, or you may say, in other words, Tawheed fi Zat. He is only one in person. And the second is Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah. You may say oneness of divinity. In other words, you can say Tawheed fil Ibadah. And the third is oneness of names. Tawheed al-Asma wa Sifat. And in other words, this is also called Tawheed fil Af'al. So look, what they are declaring, what this is mentioned in the recited and mentioned ayah and the other places in the Holy Quran, what is actually mentioned, that is, they would believe in oneness of Allah in person. Tawheed al-Rububiyyah, He is the only one. And they also had the belief in oneness in names, Asma wa Sifat, the third one. And the Tawheed in the middle, the second aspect and second kind of Tawheed was missing, that is called Tawheed al-Uluhiyyah, or Tawheed, you may say, in divinity, Tawheed of divinity, or in other words, Tawheed fil Ibadat. That's what's missing. So where it is mentioned on various places, but most prominently in two places in Holy Quran. One is in Surah Zumar, ayah number 3. Allah Almighty says and mentions their point of view and the missing aspect in Tawheed. They say we worship idols. We go to worship them. and the other entities in the creatures, other than the Creator. We worship. مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَا إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. We do not worship them, the idols and the other entities in the universe. We do not worship except that they may make us nearer to Allah in position. إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَا إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. Actual God, actual Ilah, they do believe in Allah. There is a tradition of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Once upon a time, a person who was from the pagans, and he was father of a Sahabi, Imran bin Hussein radiallahu ta'ala. He would meet to the Holy Prophet ﷺ and came across on the way, and the Holy Prophet ﷺ asked Abu Imran, how many gods do you worship? How many gods do you worship? He would say, 7. 7 gods I worship. The Holy Prophet ﷺ asked, who are the 7? 7 gods, where are they? He said, one is a big God who is in heaven, and the 6 are small, who are on the earth. How innocent the mushrik was. Look, how innocent. That he is just admitting. Look at the division. I'm worshipping 6 other gods other than the true God. 6 other. One is big. But believing in all 7 gods, he did believe that Allah Almighty is the one who is the biggest and who is in the heaven. And in this aspect and in this respect, he believes in Tawheed. Nobody and no God is equal to him. What does that mean? The same Tawheed which is mentioned over there. So look at his innocence. He very innocently admitted that I worship other than Allah, other gods as well. But why? Allah says, مَا نَعْبُدُهُمْ إِلَّا لِيُقَرِّبُونَا إِلَى اللَّهِ زُلْفَى. This was the holistic approach of pagans of Makkah. We do worship just for the reason that they make us nearer to Allah in position. Nothing else. And the same is mentioned in Surah Yunus. Allah Almighty says, وَيَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَضُرُّهُمْ وَلَا يَنْفَعُهُمْ وَيَقُولُونَ, and they worship other entities in the world which neither can harm them nor benefit them. But why they would do worship them? They say, وَيَقُولُونَ, they have the point of view. وَيَقُولُونَ, this is the opinion, this is the standpoint, this is the missing aspect of Tawheed. وَيَقُولُونَ هَؤُلَاءِ شُفَاعُنَا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. These are the intercessors towards Allah Almighty. Just concept of intercession. Shafi'ir, Sifarish. They are the Shafi, Shufa'a, intercessors towards Allah Almighty. Nothing else. Just same as they make us nearer to Allah. They are the intercessors to Allah, just to make us nearer to Allah. So this was the missing aspect. Now, this aspect actually, which is mentioned in the Holy Quran, this is the second kind of Tawheed, which is called Tawheed fil Ibadah. That was missing. They do observe, and they would do observe, the things and the actions and the behavior which is only prerogative of Allah Almighty alone. And they do observe that very actions And that very behavior, which was only the right of Allah Almighty and prerogative of Allah Almighty, they do believe in Allah, but practically they would do observe that behavior to other things of the universe as well. This was actually the missing aspect why they were called pagans and why they were called infidels and registered for hellfire. So now look upon our own views about Tawheed and our thoughts and actions about Tawheed. We the Muslim, we the claimant of being Muwahhid, me and you people, we are Muwahhid, alhamdulillah, we are Mu'min, we do believe in Allah, oneness of Allah. The same creed the pagans of Makkah would have. They believe in oneness of Allah in person, they believe in oneness of names. But what was the missing is, they would do Ibadah, the actions and the behavior, which is only due to Allah Almighty, and He is the Creator and He has the right to be worshipped. And here actually the misconception also lies in the translation of the word Ibadah. We say Ibadah and translate it into English worship. And what is worship? Concept of worship is entirely different from Ibadah. Worshipping is just observing some rituals. Maybe the daily rituals, there may be some weekly rituals, or monthly rituals, or annually rituals, nothing else. A set of rituals, observing a set of rituals is called Ibadah. But look, one thing is Ibadah and the second is Abadiyya. Abadiyya is the state of being in slavery of Allah. Look, Abadiyya and Ibadah both have the same root. Root word is Abd. And what's Abd? Who is Abd? Look at the culture of Arab. And look at the time and age when the Quran was being revealed. Ibadah and Abd, that was the age of slavery. And the people of Arabs, they would very much know what the meaning of Abd is. Abd is a slave. The meaning of Abd is not worshipper. Meaning of Abd is, actual meaning is slave. And who is slave? Slave actually has no right of his own. All the rights are lying with the owner. So if we are Abd, who's Abd? Allah's Abd. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. And after having got the meaning of Ibadah as worship, we have the concept that we do observe 5 times a day prayer, and annually we do observe fasting, and same is zakat and hajj. So this is the set of rituals. When we are observing this set of rituals, we consider ourselves, we are in Abadiyya, we are living in Abadiyya. Actually, after having got observed these rituals, even then, if we are living our lives other than the time of these rituals, and other than the time of offering prayer and fasting for a month, the other times if we are living our lives in the light of our own desires, or we are living our lives for some other entities, or for some other theories, or for some other personalities, whatever they are, if there is any entity is behind our actions as a motive and a moving force, it means that we are not doing Ibadah in the state of Abadiyya. It's a 24/7 job. It's not only to offer prayers for 5 times a day. 5 times a day, going to mosque, is just to having God, just to have our names in the list of slaves. If somebody, you may say it is actually roll call at 5 times. Who is among slaves? Who is present in this attendance? Is this roll call? How the roll is called? Hayya ala al-falah, hayya ala al-salah. Come to the prayer, come to the success. And then roll is called. Who is present over here? Whosoever is present over here. It means that his name is present in the list of slaves and abd. He is. But actually doing slavery and spending our life, it is not in the mosque in the time of prayer. It is something to observe after the prayer and between the prayers and 24/7 and 30 days of the month and 12 months of the year and the whole life. This is actually Ibadah, and this is the demand of Tawheed. So practically, we are Muslims, alhamdulillah. We are Muwahhid, alhamdulillah. But this Tawheed is only a philosophical and theoretical thing which we have. We have Tawheed in minds, but not in practical in our actions. We have Tawheed, we are Muwahhid, but not practically we are Muwahhid. As Allama Iqbal says, there is a short poem with the title of Tawheed. He says, जिंदा कुव्वत थी जहां में यही तौहीद कभी, आज क्या है फकत एक मसला इल्म कलाम. That was a driving force. This creed was a practical strength. But now it has become a theological issue, nothing else. A theological problem. And the people are discussing different aspects of Tawheed as a theology, as an issue of theology and problem of theology, nothing else. Roshani suzo se agar zulmate kirdar, no. Khud Musalman se hai poshida Musalman ka muqam. We don't know what actually we are if we don't know the meaning of Tawheed. And this is something to be observed practically, not to be having thought of. This is the difference. So we have the chance, alhamdulillah. Before our death, we are alive, alhamdulillah. We have the power of intellect at the moment. We can think of, we can mend our behaviors at the moment. So this is the opportunity for me and you, all of us, to make us abd. Try to be abd, a slave of Allah. Just like whatever He says, we must submit ourselves towards His will, not partially. We have submitted ourselves. We are going to submit, and we claim to be submitted ourselves towards Him. After all, we are Muslims, alhamdulillah. We claim to be submitted, but this submission is partial submission. We have so many reservations in our lives. This is the problem. We have so many problems around the world, and we have so many reservations. So whosoever does everything with any other motive force except Allah's will, he cannot claim that he is muwahhid. For example, if somebody says, I do whatever I want. This is a common practice. And specifically in this age of logical positivism. This is the age of logical and scientific positivism. It's a very deep term. Maybe so many people could not be able to understand. Logic is a theology. Logic is a branch of epistemology. Logic means to have some man-made arguments to doing something. Nothing else. Logic. My logic, your logic, his logic, her logic. There could be so many types of logic. So this is age of logic. And the second is to prove something logically or scientifically. This is called logical and scientific positivism. The 20th century, that was the century of logical and scientific positivism. What does it mean? Each and everything is correct which is proved by science or logic. If there is something not proven by science and logic, then it means that doesn't exist. Simple as that. So in this age, how can we mend ourselves towards complete submission? We say, I can do whatever I want. This is my basic human right. Basic human right. Who is a human? Subhanallah. Human was until 18th century. Look, human was, there was no word like human. The word human is introduced in 18th century. Before this, there was a word mankind. Even in Bible, you would find mankind, not humankind. Humankind has replaced mankind. Why? What's the difference? Difference is, mankind is something which relates to divine tradition. May it be in Judaism, may it be in Christianity, may it be in Islam. Mankind was connected to divine tradition. So they have cut ourselves off from divine tradition. So who is a human? Human is a person who can think of, he can decide his life by his own, and he can do according to his thoughts and ideas, nothing else. So he needs no creator. He needs no supernatural power. So human has authority. So our basic human right is to do according to our own self, according to our own desires. And Allah Almighty says, "Ara'aita man ittakhadha ilahahu hawa." He is the person, he is the biggest mushrik. He is doing shirk. He has made his ilah, his desires. He is the mushrik. So we are submitting to Allah, being wahid, but partially. And Allah demands complete submission, not partial submission. This was lacking in pagans of Makka, and if the same is lacking in our lives, how can we be muwahhid? If they were mushrik after having missed this aspect. So try to be submitted to Allah and a perfect submission. In Surah Zumar, Allah Almighty says, don't be disappointed from the mercy of Allah. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Inna Allah yaghfiru dhunuba jami'a. He will forgive all of your sins. Why He will forgive all of sins? Innahu huwal ghafurur rahim. He is the forgiver. He is the merciful. But what to do to have got this merit? وَأَنِيبُوا إِلَىٰ رَبِّكُمْ وَأَسْلِمُوا لَهُ. Return back towards Allah and submit to Him completely. Islam means complete submission. So this is actually demand of Tawheed, which was missing. If this was missing in the lives of the pagans of Makkah and they were registered for hellfire, so we must think about our lives. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us the true slaves of Him. Ameen.
Alhamdulillah, it was a very beautiful lecture by the Dr. Hammad Lakhvi, Hafizahullah Ta'ala. If someone have any question, only for 5 minutes. So inshallah we allow. So anyone have question? Ji.
How many types of ibadahs are in Islam? Can you explain?
इम्तिहान लेने लग गए यार.
Your question is how many types of ibadat in Islam? Look, actually ibadat is only ibadat. And each and every kind of ibadat, we can say, practically there are different kinds. As we do recite in namaz, in salah, at-tahiyyatu lillahi was-salawatu wat-tayyibat. Each and every kind of actions, if they are words, if they are actions, and if they are financial matters, all the things are submitted to Allah Almighty. So it means that ibadat actually is only one kind, and that is a holistic approach and having a holistic idea. But practically there could be not only three dimensions which are mentioned in the Tawheed, but there could be so many other dimensions as well. As vast as the universe is, that is the same are the limits of ibadah. Howsoever the actions have the kinds, these are the kinds of ibadah as well. Actually, no action and no type of action, be it individual, be it in collective term, each and everything is included to ibadah. So if we do observe it, if we are going to do each and every action according to the will of Allah, then this is ibadah of Allah. If we are doing for some other motive forces, look, other motive forces what can be? There can be hope or fear. Hope of something else other than Allah's concept, and fear of Allah's anger, not fear of Allah's anger, but the fear of all others' anger. So these are actually two motive forces, hope and fear. There could be hope for anything, that could be called ibadah. There could be fear of anything, that could be called ibadah. So if there is anything which is on the base of fear and hope of Allah, that is ibadah of Allah. And if there is something which is fear, due to fear or hope of anything else, that is ibadah of something else. So this is a relative term. Ibadah is a relative term, which comprises each and every action of all humankind, even the individuals and collectively all the nation. And I think there could be no limits to limitize the kinds of ibadah. That's my opinion, though you may be different.
Shaykh, the difference between desire and the volition. Inna aradana al-amanata ala samawati wal ardi. The
Desire and?
Given has
Desire and?
Desire and the will.
The will.
Yes.
Actually, you can say the will and desire is could be same things if we are talking in terms of human beings. They could be same things. But when we are talking about Allah Almighty, the Creator, then there would be no word like desire should be used. The only word will be used. The slight difference between will and desire is, desire could be vague, desire could be wrong, desire could be right, and will has a positive determination in its nature. So no big difference is there if we are talking to about the human beings. But in terms of Allah's will, there is a conviction and determination in the will. This is something which is wanted by some body. So desire and will are from same nature, but will has more positivity and determination in it, but desire has not that much positivity and that much determination. Maybe it could be the answer to your question.
Jazakallah khair, barakallah. Jazakumullah khair, barakallah feek. نسأل الله أن يجعل هذه المحاضرة القيمة نافعة لنا ولإخواننا ولأخواتنا إن شاء الله جميعا ونسأل الله التوفيق العمل إن شاء الله. جزاكم الله خيرا وبارك الله فيكم إن شاء الله. Dinner is upstairs, so I request all go upstairs. جزاكم الله خير. We say thank you to our respected guest, Dr. Hammad Hafidahullah Ta'ala.